All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, got people here. Those of you that are in off of YouTube, if you guys want something to go over, go ahead and you know how to do it. Just put it onto the live chat there. Those of you that are premium members of TWR, go ahead and put your stuff that you want to go over, if it's anything of concern, over there in the chat group on the Zoom, and we will go ahead and get started. Remember, this is Tweaky Tuesday, and we are going to go ahead and be chart focused today. On Tuesdays, we focus in on penny stocks, but we're going to cover the big boys as well and do a little bit of market review. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it real quick, and we will start. All right. As you guys can see over here, you can see this. This is the Dow right here. You can see the S&P, and you can see the NASDAQ. What I want you guys to understand is that the Dow, everything started out coming out popping, right? Okay. The swings that people had we're starting to make some money. And then we got into this midday slump again, right? It ended up finishing pretty strong towards the end, which is good for swings that are going out. But the issue that happens when you get into situations like that is that it never fails to get into people's heads and start to sweep stop losses. So, example, okay, when people are looking at the market and they're going into continuation, they're swinging over usually bull, right? On a bull continuation, they're swinging in hopes of making the higher percentages, right? Well, what happens is people see this kind of chop, and then they go ahead and they see this hitting back up towards a high, and they go ahead and say, okay, well, we're most likely going to probably continue up because we got a decent little pop here. The market's bullish. We don't have any Fed comments happening. It's blackout period. Earnings are coming in pretty decent and stuff like that. But then you get these market sweeps to the bottom. And I want you to kind of notice where these things are at. People are by design, right? We like zeros and fives, okay? And people protect their assets, right? So they're putting in stop loss levels and risk tolerance levels and stuff like that. And usually it's associated with the, 10% threshold, 15%, 20, 25%, stuff like that. And you can kind of see the dips. Okay. So when you get these dips here, you get sweeps to the bottom. And this is clearing out, probably 10% stop loss things. And then you get these pops. And so people that got swept out are like, ooh, we get in on this pop. Okay, now it's time to go. And then you get the next sweep, which is probably 20, 15, 20, and 25% layers, right? This is also the area where a lot of people in their positions are going to probably look at averaging down, especially if they got time. And so they average down, and then you get the little bit of pop, and you think things are coming back, and all of a sudden you get that next leg to the downside. And this is sweeping out the 30 and 35% stop loss level, guys. And then all of a sudden you got right here, this is around 50 to 60%, specifically in derivatives, right? Then you start to find your bottom. But by that time, man, how many times can you go down and you can average down? If you're averaging down here, right, and you don't make your pop, you average down here, that's two, three, four times, man, you're usually out of your trade, probably most of us here. And you're like, man, this is just not my day in the market. And then you see this bottom, maybe you got some capital, you buy in and you get lucky to catch these rises, or your capital is all tied up because you went ahead and you went long on this dip here, and you were expecting the push, right? Because you got the initial push, then you got the dip, and you were like, oh, okay, still bullish market, really nothing too negative happening. I'm going to go ahead and go long on this dip here, and then we're going to ride, and then you start to come here. So all your capital is gone, especially for those small account holders. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I want you guys just to be prepared, all right? I don't want you to get freaked out. I highly suggest people, specifically if you have a little bit of capital on the side that you can risk a little bit. If you're playing it too close to the chest, then you got no room for error. Okay, 5%, 10% risk tolerance level with your stop losses. By all means, man, if it's working for you, good. But if you have a little bit of room, specifically in these volatile markets, okay, you may want to look at these and holding loose stop losses rather than, tight stop losses, because these sweeping levels, I'll be honest with you, I had IWM calls. They popped off. beautifully at the beginning of the market day. I was able to trim out of them and then they sunk, right? Well, I went ahead and kept them because I trimmed out some of the position and, we went ahead and just rode it out, right? Well, they were sucking over here. But down here, when you start to see that seller's exhaustion happen, and you start to see the price action come back in, this is your time to go ahead. And if you got dry powder on the side, this is where you want to buy and average into your positions. Okay. Typically, you get a two-leg strategy from a descending downtrend, right? So here we get a one leg, a little consolidation zone, and then you got your two leg. This is where if you're high probability of gambling in on a bottom, this is where you're gambling on the bottom, especially if there's really no news that's causing the negative sentiment. Okay. And as you can see, there's really no news that caused negative sentiment. We're trying to rise, and we in fact finished the day in the positive territory compared to where we opened. So we'll be looking for a bullish continuation, but just moving forward, I want you guys to be paying attention to these type of movements, okay? Don't necessarily average down on these first dips, okay? You want to kind of find where that seller's exhaustion is coming in. You want that confirmation, okay? Because you get the confirmation here. It dipped, it raised, it came back down, tested that, held it, and then he popped up. So you got your confirmation, excuse me. Oh, gosh. Oh man, sorry about that. We got your confirmation. Let's go ahead and look into some charts and stuff. Here's our calendar. Right, we've got some earnings coming up. Netflix is key one. We're gonna look at that stock here in a little bit. IPO Center, got some IPOs. Right now, still not the time to go ahead and hop into the IPO market. I do, however, have done some research on this. I'm liking this company's setup right here. This ride, this one interests me a lot. Okay, I'm going to be paying attention to some of these as well. There's a few other ones that interest me, but for the most part, this is pretty much the only one that really interests me at this time, as far as an IPO market is concerned. Here's your top options, volume on the day, right? SPY, Q. As you can see, we can go ahead and aggregate this. Oh no, I guess it's already aggregated. All right. SPY and the Q, top volume. Tesla's always there. And then all these ones. BABA, guys, BABA came back. So if you guys are in those leaps that we pushed out a while back, you probably made back about 50% of your position there. So those things absolutely exploded today. Thank you, the China global market, for having a bullish day. NVDA and AMD, and of course, you got all the big ones right here. But we're going to focus in on some penny stocks. So let's go ahead and go into our screener. And I got screeners for everything, right? Um, but we wanted to go ahead and focus in on the penny stocks. So I got the screener that I created, and it's under $3 stocks. All right. And we're going to go ahead and look at these and see if any of these look decent enough to go ahead and get into trade. And with penny stocks, I always like to go to change. I want to change high to low. Okay. Now remember, penny stock is technically anything under 10 billion market cap. All right. We typically go off of penny stocks and think in dollar amounts, but really, when you're looking at it from a big money perspective, the penny stock market is the market cap that is below $10 billion and below. Some would say 5 billion, but 10 billion and below is really where you're starting to get into your smaller market caps. True penny stocks, would be underneath a billion. They, sometimes 100,000 market caps, millions. But when we're looking at penny stocks as a whole, when we're doing searches, it's anything below 10 billion market cap. And we want high volume. And when I do my searches, I always search for strong buys, and holds. I don't really want anything that has a bunch of selling. I have one screener that does have all of those options open, but specifically for this, we want things that have at least a few analyst ratings, that they get paid for, looking at stocks all day long. And in fact, certain sectors, and then they write these analyst reviews. So we want stocks to have some analyst reviews that are bullish. This is one that has me interested, and this is one that I'm looking at for our penny stock portfolio that we have on the Discord. OTLK. I've been watching this one for a while. I wish I would have got in down here. on this low here after this huge dip, but I didn't trust it. I didn't know if we were going to go ahead and come out of this consolidation zone to the next flag to the downside, but we came out pretty decently with some volume. I saw some people getting into this one and they made some decent money. I mean, this was a huge run. You get over here at 20 cents and this thing almost hit back to a dollar. That's a decent little trade right there. But this thing is popping a little bit here now, and it looks like we found kind of a bottomish. Now, could this thing always come to the downside? Yeah, but it's trending in the right direction. So we're looking at this one for a potential play. And at 44 cents, it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and hop into 100 shares of this or 1,000 shares of this and see if we can't get a retest of this upper level, because that's all we're really looking for. Okay, we're just looking for current level. And then when we look at this, we just go to levels where we kind of hit shelves. So that would be the first price target that we'd be looking for. And then we'd look for a break, right? Second price target. And then we would look for this. And so how I would trade this, right? I would buy, for me personally, on a personal portfolio. If I was doing inside of the Discord portfolio, we'd get 100 because that's our thing is 100. Anything below 10 cents, we go ahead and buy 1,000 of. But it's if it's above 10 cents, we're going to go ahead and get 100 of it, right? And then I would be looking for these target areas. So we hit the 65. We may not trim out, but we're definitely moving the stop loss up. So we're moving the stop loss up from 44 entry, probably in between here, 65 to 44. We're probably putting that 55 so that at least on a pullback, everything is profit at that point. And we probably want to trim out at least 25%. So you get this level 25%, trim out another 25% here. Now you got 50% of your position, and stop losses always travel to the next level that you trim out. So if we trim here, right, we bring the stop loss above break even. That would be about right here. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because this is the strategy that I use when I trade these penny stocks to stay profitable, right? So we get into this trade, we move up to our target. Boom, target one hit. Great. We're going to go ahead and take some positions, move for stop loss up here. Now everything, even on a pullback, is risk-free and profit. We hit up this one, this level here goes away, and it now comes to here. And this is our next target. And if we are able to have this one again, we hit here. This is the deciding factor. We can go ahead and take out our position because we 2x the position, and that's the goal is always the 2x. Or we move our stop loss up again right there. And we say, you know what? Even if we don't take profits off of the 2x, we still got 50% of our main portfolio, two price targets above our entry point, and that right there is a win-win any way you look at it. So that's how we would trade this. And if, of course, we get a break and we start to make some of this back, that'd be absolutely stellar. And this would also probably be breaking here and closing above here. This is where you start to see a lot of more interest from some bigger money whales that trade the penny stock market. They probably start trading in it as well, especially if the news is hot. So that's how we would trade that one. So OTLK has to be on your radar, guys. It has to be on your radar. This one right here, this one wouldn't be too bad. We're most likely we're probably expecting this to reject at these levels. Until we get confirmed of over these levels, right? So we have to get confirmation that we're over these levels. If we can't confirm over this level here, the shelf, to go re-attack these, then we're looking like we're probably going to reject. And I don't know about other people. I don't really short the penny stocks. If it has options, I might go puts on options, but I don't short the penny stock market. But this is one that we'd be watching for potential. This one, when it moves, it likes to move hot and heavy. So we definitely can make some money on this one, but we got to be Johnny on the spot. So we're waiting, we're watching, we're paying attention, see if we can hold and close above this line, seeing if the news is good. If we fail, most likely we're probably headed back down for a lower low because we cannot come up here and create any new recent highs. So this one, not really interested. This one looks pretty decent as a chart. We're not going to go over this one. You can kind of see the pattern. We got gap fill up here, which would be okay. As long as we can break these levels here, we're at least going in, a sideways motion. And it looks pretty decent. We made a higher low, and now we just need to create those higher highs, which the higher high would be, filling this gap that we have over here, which would be great if we could do it. So we just have to pay attention on that one. This is one I like right here. Look at this one. Got a nice cup that we're forming right here. All right. And we're looking for the handle. Now, typically, classically, the handle would travel down a little bit. You get a little bit of a downtrend on the handle. So, it would travel down a little bit, but we do like this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I need to create a watch list. All right. We're going to create a watch list and we're going to do penny 24 Jan. All right. Now let's go back to our charts. There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to add this one because this one I really like the setup. So I'm going to add this one to our chart. Also, I wanted to add this one as well. So we're going to add this one to it as well. All right. This one would be a good one to potentially get. We got a lot of pressure that we can create, especially if we get the nice classic pattern. We'll see a little bit of downtrend, and if the news is good and we see some positive motion, we should get a pop to go re-attack these levels here and potentially break out if the bottom is in on this one. So we do like that. Charge point, another popular one. Okay, you cannot count these out because these are very popular stocks. And these are ones that a lot of people, still believe in, and they can get a lot of volume specifically at these lower levels. You almost got a V-shaped recovery here. So coming down, V-shaped recovery, and we're looking to start testing some of these lines. So with this particular one, I would probably put some fib lines on it, right? So let's go ahead and find a level here. Boop, right? We'll go ahead and put the line there. And that'll give us some decent little fib lines for us to look at potentially. And then what I like to do with this is, fib, every type of indicator is excuse me, man, my nose is running. Seasonal allergies, guys, I'm telling you. What these do is these create, for me, people sometimes live and breathe by the fibs and stuff like that. I use them as gauges, okay? These are just levels to give me ideas that match in line with my strategy already. What I like to do with these is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create my rectangle, okay? Because you guys know that I like rectangles, all right? Rectangles are great. They have two sides they have two sides of parallel lines, and they're fantastic for range trading. And I love range trade. I'm a momentum and range trader by trade. That's my bread and butter, okay? And so what we do is we create our box, right? We're not even really concerned about stuff up here, okay? That's if we start to get into that range, okay? We don't even care about that right now. What we care about is this 365 and this 164 level, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a line right here in the middle. And this is going to be what I call the 50-50 line. And this is our target on a continuation of a bullish run. And you can see we can do a little bit of shaking and baking on this one. We want price action. We want meat and potatoes, right? And when we come basically in the middle, we do see that we have a lot of price action. We can come down a little bit to capture this, but then we lose some of the current price action in this level. At where this line and range is at, we got this stuff. Plus, we have the top of this consolidation, the bottom of this consolidation. So seems like a pretty decent 50-50 line for me. And then inside of the 50-50 line, we put our quarter lines, okay? And I always color code my stuff because it makes sense to me when I color code. So I want to make sure that I'm color coding things that, create an idea for me. So what I just created, these purple lines, our are our quarter lines. Okay, so what we tell ourselves, if we say, okay, if we like charge point, we look at the volume, we see bullish movement and everything like that, we tell ourselves, all right, guys, if we stay above our quarter line, high probability of success for a push towards our 50-50 line. That's what we say, okay? And that gives us about, a 50-cent move, okay? If we're doing in deep in the money options or we're trading trades, that's a decent move. You buy 100 shares of this, a 50-cent move on 100 shares of this, it's a pretty decent little profit, okay, for a trade. Absolutely. So we go ahead and tell ourselves, all right, we stay above this high probability of at least continuation towards our 50-50 line for a retest. And then that's where we're expecting potential resistance zone. We break through there, then again, we tell ourselves the next step. And then once we start creating our break above our levels, we can start looking at potential next shelves up, right? Going into supply and demand theory, which would give us a potential breakout that is equal to the range, right? The range of our previous level where we hit bottom. So we hit this, we break. We're looking for potential breakouts that would be equal to this range here. And we just take that and we flip it on the upside, and that puts us about at the fives and stuff like that. So that's just the theory behind utilizing the rectangular and the rectangular probability trading. That's the theory behind it. Okay, probability trading. And it's very simple. And that's why I like it specifically with newer investors, because it kind of takes out a lot of the noise and you just kind of stick to the levels. And then if it comes back, if we're long and we come back below this line, we go ahead and we cut because we got a rule, right? We got a rule. This is our rule for long entry towards this. If we were to come back and close below this on a 15-minute chart, 5 minutes, okay, 15 minutes better, we would go ahead and close our long positions and we would wait for us to close above this and we'd re-enter again for another attack over here. So we like this one. We're going to go ahead and add this one to the watch list. All right. And I'm not going to break all these charts down like that. You guys get the gist. This is how I can do this mentally with my eyes. I just did this physically here on the chart so you guys could see how we go about it. Lou, I don't know. You got a little bit of a bottom tower candlestick formation forming, which kind of forms the cup. It's not a traditional cup because you don't really have the smooth bottom at the bottom, but you got the tower here, which typically was the consolidation zone of a few days of candlestick price action, and you create a bottom tower, which gives you an explosive push to the upside, and it could go retest, but I don't know enough about Lou, and I'm not sure about that one. So, that would be something if we saw it pop up on a scanner on the day, we might get invested and we might pay attention to it. Data, we're liking this one here. It had a huge knee-jerk reaction, right? We found our bottom and now we're starting to really creep up. Okay, so we could see potential cool down, obviously, because we got a nice thing. But if the news is solid, when we go to the news thing, which always check the news and see if we can find something interesting on data. TKO, if you guys paying attention to that. There's really no news on data, but going back to TKO, guys, loving that stock. Okay, loving that management there. The Rock is now on the board, and they got a really stacked martial arts type of staff. Not just martial arts thinking of that as karate, okay? Martial arts thinking of as a combat sport related type of stuff. Um, so it really got a pretty stacked thing. So if we can hold this level, I'd go ahead. I like this chart. I think this chart has promise. Go ahead and put a line here. We want to close above this line, and we're looking for a retest back to these levels here. Give us about a 70-cent move if we were to retest this level on a breakout. Okay. If we failed to break out, then we could probably look at us retesting to the bottom, somewhere around there, right? And then, hey, look, what do we have here again? Well, we have something I love. We have a rectangle, okay? Now, I told you I wouldn't show you, I wouldn't break it out again, but you can see how we would do the rectangle. Lines of probability, change the colors. That's what I do. And now we got levels to go ahead and start executing some trades on. So we like that one too. Go ahead and add that to the list. When anytime you were making a list of penny stocks, you usually want to add about 10 to 15 stocks because penny stocks will move fast and furious. V-shaped recovery on fuel cell. So this one gets when it gets a lot of volume, it gets some interest. This one likes to fly. We could definitely see a push right here, about 20, 30 cents to the upside. That creates retesting of some shelves. And if we could break above that, then we could start looking at the next levels, right? So we like this one. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit though. Are those alerts? I think those are alerts. So we're gonna go ahead and create this one, right? We like that level there, right? And then if we were to break that, okay. So we're looking at, I wouldn't mind playing this to the long side. Actually, I wouldn't mind going ahead and doing options on this one. Fuel cell, it's a decent one for options. Buy yourself enough time so that, because we're creating a higher high, recent high, right? Other than here. So we're probably chopping around a little bit, but we could make the case to go ahead and start running and make an attack on $2 if the volume and the bullish news with this stay with it. So this is one that we'll definitely watch, but I wouldn't mind gambling on this one for the push from here towards this $1.50 range. So we're gonna add that one to July. All right. Addis. This one looks like a short candidate. We're pushing up, but we got some serious volume to the downside. We got a long way to go. So I'd be probably looking at more of this retest rejection and probably pushing back down to either retest this level or hit a little bit lower to see. Kind of looking like we got like some wave patterns going, with like the A, B, C, and then you got your backside with, D, E, and F and stuff like that. Not interested. Ooh, this one's interesting. Look at this. We're broadening out with some inside outside bars. So we got a long inside bar here, and then we got two inside bars of the outside bar with the father bar being an outside bar of the inside. So it's like a inside bar, outside bar sandwich. So yeah, I can see the case. This is one of those that you would put the trigger on though, because it could go both ways. And you'd put a trigger and you'd probably look right here. This is how I would trade this one. I'd put a trigger at the top, trigger at the bottom, and that would be how I'd be looking for my trade. Actually, I'd probably move that up a little. We got some decent little price action here within this. I'm just looking at the price action, guys, just trying to get the shelves. We got top, we trigger above this, we're looking for long. We trigger below this, we probably look for a short potential, pushing it back towards this attacking point. We go long. Obviously, we got to clear this. Then we got some other levels previously that we can start to go attack on some decent news. So it's made a hell of a recovery. I wish I would have got in over here, 65 cents, but we can go ahead and make triggers off of this one. So, all right. ZH, no thank you. We're leveling down. We got huge dump, huge backup, consolidation, couldn't hold it. One leg, consolidation, two leg, consolidation, probably a third leg down to go retest these bottoms. No thank you. No thank you. Gurn, this is interesting. I like this chart. I'd go long. I would gamble on long with a target of this 236 area and look to see if we can break that. Yeah, Gurn is a decent one. We'll go ahead and put that on the chart. I like that. We start to see, and remember all this stuff we're looking when we look at it in pre-market. That's what really gives us our deciding factor whether it goes from our evening watch list to our actual actionable trades that we're looking for. How many do we got right now? Because I don't want to overload it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll add three more. We'll add three more. Skin. Well, we want some good ones. Ooh, there's a lot of penny stocks that look good, man. Skin looks good, flagging off of this low. The only thing that frightens me about this is that we kind of got an inverse cup and handle starting to form. Typically, that would signal that we got a little bit more of a downside to probably retest this area before we start to look for the handle. But if we truly found bottom and we're just kind of creeping and we got a little bit of cool down, that's not a problem because we got some area that we can make up, and it has about $1 move on it. These are those ones that we like to trade. So yeah, I do actually like this one. This one could we and the Q guys. Okay, if you look at this, notice how this volume increased, right? We got this volume down here. It's kind of maybe I can pull up one moment. Sub indicators. Where's my volume? There's my volume. All right. There's volume over here. Well, you can't really see it because we're on the 4-hour chart. So, anyways, but you can see what I'm getting at, right? We got this volume and it's kind of just, trickling, right? We start to see the spike in volume that kind of mimics remnants of this, like going towards this, then we want to definitely get into this trade and ride that volume play. So we put a volume alert on this one and look for any spikes in volume. This one, no, it looks like we're just popping a little bit before rejection. Blink. Another one is popular, charge point blink. These ones are popular. So these are going to be the ones that people like, especially in bullish markets, especially if interest rates start getting cut. People start to go back into these speculative stocks. So blink has to be on the radar because you can get some decent volume and make a push. Also, you can do options on it as well. So we'd be looking for a retest of about threes, right? And rejection current levels for a retest of some bottoms and stuff like that. So of course you can put your rectangle in here and you can divvy out your lines and stuff there. But yeah, we'll put blink on the radar on the watch list as well. DNA. No, look like we got an ascending wedge, which will probably reject to the bottom. No, no. Fubo. All right, this one's interesting. This has with these streaming wars, right? This is poised to gain some steam. Fubu could easily get a little bit of volume, and we could see it breach and start reattacking these areas here. When it dumped, right, and it came down here, it didn't create any bottoms here. So what we have to do is we have to watch this zone, basically. This would be a zone type of trade, right? We're gonna watch this zone. And you want to watch this zone. We want acceptance over top. And if not, we want rejection. We want acceptance over top or acceptance over bottom to give us our trend. We get acceptance over the top, then we're looking for continuation. Okay, acceptance over bottom, we're looking for continuation. You can also play the reverse, right? So if we get rejection down here at the bottom, right, we can look for an entry, the bounce play, right? If we get rejection here at the top, we can look for the short play. Look at all these stocks we haven't been paying attention to just pop up on the scanner. I'm not interested in this one. Yeah, we talked about this one the other day where we were forming a pennant, and when we said we come out of these, right? We come out of this, very, you can see it over here. Trends, TA exists because trends tend to repeat themselves over periods of time, right? You get this trend here, right? And then you got this consolidation zone. We popped up, we got another trend here, lower, and now we got another consolidation zone. So until we get acceptance and the signs of reversal to the upside, we have to assume that this is probably headed to the bottom. Adrian, consolidating at the bottom. Now this one's cool because this one has a lot of space to make up. So once we start making up this space over here at the bottom, which we are, once we start getting into this territory here of this gap, then we can start looking for the gap fill. All right. And that's about a 20-cent move. Yeah. No, this one looks like a short candidate here. EVGO, short candidate. Aviv. If we can hold this level, this little cooldown period off of this ascension, we got a little cooldown period, hold this level, we could see a break above. And then of course, we would go from the top here to about the bottom here, and that would be our range flipped on the upside, which would put us about in line. We could look for, a move of maybe about 40, 50 cents to the upside. Like in this one for potential push, we just need to hold these levels. Like to see this one push. We probably, if on some volume, because the volume's starting to, we would decrease the volume here and the volume is starting to pick up a little bit. So if we can hold these level and push, good chance for us to get a 2x from the current position. GEVO. So this one looks like it's probably going to fail as well too. We came out of this channel, slid to the downside, consolidated a little, we got a pop, looking like we're rejecting this pop with some bearish moves. So we probably gonna get the rejection to the downside for another leg to the downside. So I'd be shorting that one. And where we at? All right, Tilray. I know that one's popular. People like that one, but to be honest with you, it looks to me the chart is signaling that we got a leg to the downside. Nicola, I want people to start thinking about this one. We need signs of positivity on this one, but I want people to keep this on their radar. We start to see signs of positivity, start to see signs of, bullish movement and news inside of the market. I want you to go ahead and not feel afraid to purchase, 100, maybe 1,000 shares of this and see if we can't get the double, okay? New CEO, new mission, new tasks, new outlook, all that stuff. It has an opportunity, maybe not to make back some of all this, but at 65 cents, it's definitely worth a $65 chance with 100 shares of, 2x. Absolutely. This one looks interesting. Break to the upside. Could see about 25 to 50 cent move. ESPR, Experian. Doesn't look good to me. It looks like a short. OPK. Flagging at the bottom, probably for another leg to the downside. Again, downside. ACB, weed stocks, they're not doing so good. Workhorse, skirting the bottom. We need to have some bullish movement. We're long this one. We're actually at a little bit of a loss. We need some momentum to come up. I think our share percentage or price per share is like 36 cents. So we're down about 6 cents per share right now. We need some volume to come in. I wouldn't even average down in this one unless we see a significant drop and then we start to see some volume come back in. So we need this one to have some bullish volume come back into it. It does have volume on the day. We just need, I'd like to see the MACD above the center line. That's what I want. Wolf, not ready yet. Still looks like it wants to skirt the lower levels. This this lithium thing, not sure about this one. We'll see if this bottom holds. And if this bottom holds, then we could see a retest of the upside. It definitely looks like we could potentially get a 2x on a trade. 86 cents, not a bad opportunity. In VTA, remember, watch these channels, okay? Watch these channels. Okay. See these channels like this, right? We have to expect that potentially we get a spike. It's done it before, right? You get this channel, that looks really similar, doesn't it? Look at that. Really similar, right? And then we got a huge pop. Now you got to be able to catch these though. That's the question. Okay, so we start to see Here's our warning signs, right? We start to see the volume come in. Boom, we need to be Johnny on the spot. We can catch that now with, a decent little pop. Look at that, 62 to 95. That's not bad. All day, 30-cent move. Yeah. VTNR, again, you got a downward channel. We can see a little bit of pop. Need the positive volume come in. I'd like to see the positive MACD over the center line. Cipher, sound, it's holding. MCRB, flagging, skirting this bottom. This could be the bottom of this one if it can hold this level, right? Again, this is another one that you put little rectangles on. All right, put yourself a little range box. What we're doing is we're just putting a little range box. Previous levels, bottom levels, and we're looking for the moves, man. We start to get the break with volume increasing. We're looking for the move towards here and hopefully break to retest. Fisker not doing so well. Looks like got some more downtrending pressure coming. Cinzonotic wouldn't be bad for a gamble at 53 cents. GLV breaking my heart, man. Got a new we went ahead and we ended up selling out of this. This one, the portfolio thing, we sold out and we bought back in at 16, but we need this to move. This one looks like it's gonna fail, probably gap fill to the bottom. Tell, looks like we got another leg to downside, one leg, consolidation, another leg, consolidation, another leg. And Bluebird sucking. Looks like we got some downtrending coming. All right. That is the penny stocks, guys. We just went over them. We got a decent little watch list. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, not bad. 10. We got a decent little watch list, 10 stocks. We'll look at these tomorrow, see how they all perform in a pre-market, and see if we can make any money on these. Some decent trades here. And then what we'll do is also we do another scan, right? And we'll see if we got any new additions in there. We don't want to get ourselves too overwhelmed, but 10 stocks that we've already researched and maybe 5 additional stocks that pop up in a new scan, be a decent little watch list on the day, and hopefully can make some money off them. Everything under $3, and we even got some cheap. We even got a couple cheapies that are about $1 or below, so not bad. All right, let's go into the big boys. Let's talk about them, okay? Let's go into a few of these, and then I'll get you guys out of here, man. All right, TKO. We want to watch this one, okay? We got $100 calls on this, all right? We definitely like the bullish move. We got a little bit of a sell-off from the news, which is, of course, understandable. See if we can hold this level and get the break to the upside. We got tons of space to the upside that we can go, and the news is really, really good. So if we can keep the volume going, I see no reason why we can't go ahead and make a run towards these levels at, a decent angle. So, yeah, Baba, Baba, Chinese news was good. Baba shot up. Baba's one of these has a lot of volume, okay, and it got huge gaps. All right, if we start to clear some of these mini gaps here, right, these are going to be easy to fill here. We start to clear that, it's going to be pretty off to the races to go reclaim these levels here. So Baba's news was pretty decent. The stuff out of China was good news. If we can hold that and get, less negative news, Baba would be a good one to go ahead and go long on and start looking out into February. BIDU, same thing with Baba. We got some moves to the upside, a lot of room to go with BIDU. This one specifically in derivatives market is a powerhouse. Okay, so put BIDU on your watch list and watch this. You start to see the volume come in. This one would be one that you want to go ahead and trade. JD.com, this is cheap shares. All right, if you want to, I'm not a big proponent on Chinese stocks, but if you were going to own Chinese stocks, JD.com, it's been coined, so is BAPA, but it's been coined as kind of like the Asian Amazon, right? Um, or Asian overstock, something like that. It's one of those that's cheap, cheap, man. Get yourself 100 shares, probably double your money in 2 to 3 years. Verizon been taking off. Verizon has been taking off, guys. Um, it got beat up. It definitely got beat up, but Verizon is starting to take off here. Um, looks like we want to go ahead and make a run for 44. So we got maybe about $2 move. I think we probably can get a little bit of pressure once we start getting up to that. What's our volume profile look like? Volume profile is light, so we got uncharted territory up here, right? So 44. Hit resistance, cool down a little bit. So that's what I think. RTX got a nice case for a run on RTX, guys. Over here, RTX could easily run from this level 95, 95. So we'd be looking out 16 February. Volume, look at that right there. This is where you want to be, right here. And it's not really juiced either. Tons of opportunity, not even juiced. That's where the volume's at, pretty decent. Actually, these prices are not bad. I'd probably go with this one. Be honest with you, this 92, high probability of success. Look at that delta to theta ratio, 1 to 3. That's that's what you're talking about. High risk or well, what's the term? A value type of play off of risk. UAL. Stock digger. Stock digger, man. Stock sniper, excuse me. Stock sniper. TWR stock sniper called this one absolutely killer trade, guys. Killer trade. I'm surprised they actually did as good as they did because their earnings were not that good, but they held up fairly well. Oh, we didn't even look at the chart. I was just looking at options. Yeah, so we got maybe a little bit more room to the upside. GFI. GFI looks like we're wanting to fail. We got the W. I got a feeling we're probably going to fail from this triple top type of formation. Probably fail, push back down. I've been going short. SMCI, look at this. Remember when we did this one? We were at that pennant kick to the upside. So there's really no reason why we don't have continuation to go retest the previous high. So 485. Unless we start to see negative Nancy news come in, we have to assume it's on its way to go back to battle at the previous high. Yeah, not interested. Tevia. Tevia is one of those, man. It's a sleeper. Look at this. It was just down here at like $8, $4 move on Tevia. Tevia does, though, after it makes these runs, it likes to cool down. I wouldn't be surprised if Tevia starts to cool back down towards the top of where its main volume pressure is at, which would be about $10. I would not be surprised at all. It likes to run and then cool down. You can see it right here. It makes the run for it and it cools down, staying above its previous support level. But so I'll make a run, cool down, maybe staying above, maybe dipping a little bit below. Procter and Gamble, nice run, nice pullback, gives a good opportunity for positions to continue back in. So this one, we talked about Procter and Gamble the other day. We said it was one of those stocks that you want to go ahead and buy forever. Still, still believe that. I don't really play this one very much. I don't know much about it. Looks like it's breaking out though. So if you play PCAR, watch for the breakout. Usually on the breakouts, remember you can get about range, top to bottom, just flip it, and that's about your pinnacle of where you'll get. Neo starting to get a little bit of volume, I guess, coming into the downside though, looking like negative volume. So watch this one to reject. They probably go lower. Grab. I actually like Grab. Grab is one of those stocks that I wouldn't mind owning. The automotive? No, thank you. Snow. Hey, when we talk about snow, we said snow to 200, right? Snow to 200. It did exactly that, guys, right here. So now we're looking for the break from here to here. We got about, what's this, 200 to 190. We got about a $10 move. Two more bucks before we start to hit resistance. EDR peeking up on that top line over there. AP looking like, ooh, we like this. Look at this. All right, this is something we're interested in. This one, APP. This one on your radar, guys. All right. Well, I don't really like this one. This one's hard to chart because I would want to chart like, well, you got your channel here. Got our channel. All right. Then we got our zones. And then we got some push. We got about a $5 move potentially in here. Probably get half of that for a retest. Yeah. So we need to hold this level. We need to hold this level. And I would say even we probably want to go retest middle ground of our price action here, right? So we want to go hold this level, test, see what happens here if we start to bounce a little bit. And if we can break, then we got about a $4 to $5 move to the upside. LUV looks like it's about to break out. Got a nice little pennant forming. This one, I'll actually go ahead and make a call on this one. Let's go ahead and look at. Yeah. So I'm going to look at this one. We want to go ahead and look at the 32.5 calls, 16 February. That's the one that we're going to look to go ahead and trade and get into tomorrow. LUV 35 to 30, 32.5 calls, and we want to stay within the range of about 85 to $75, guys. Okay. If it starts to peak above 100, we may want to go outside the money a little bit, but I think we got a nice case for a little decent move here. 31, we have room to 40. We can easily get $5 squeeze out of this one. LUV. Veil looks like it's V-shaped recovery. I think we fail and we probably hit back to downside. The mining stuff isn't doing so hot. SE, man, we've done this one a lot, haven't we? Where we at? Dude, this one's just trading in range. Okay, this one's just one that you're just looking for range trading. Okay, put your rectangle here, and then we stay above this line. We're looking for the push to this side. We close above this. We're looking for downside. So we stay bullish above this area where we're at. We get some decent volume. It already crossed the MACD. Get some signals. We're looking for the push towards $41, $42 in SE. Roku looking pretty good. I like Roku for a break part pop here, retest these areas, and then a breakout to go start retesting. I think Roku's got an opportunity for some good pressure. Let's talk about the ones that everyone really wants to talk about. Okay, Tesla. I know. Remember, my deal still stands. Okay, Tesla 220 or higher by 26th of Jan, where I give a random person a $100 gift card and they'll call into the business line and I'll hook them up. But I mean, dude, we've been tight, guys. We've been tight in this little broadening thing, okay? We're tight. We're holding this level, which tells me selling is done. Okay, big selling is done. We're holding this level. We're looking for the bounce. Okay, people are waiting on the earnings. We're looking for the bounce. So I like Tesla to make the run and the case to break this level here. But that's the plan. We need Tesla up here above 220 by the end of the week. Meta looks like could potentially want to break out again. Next stop's 400. Oops. Microsoft wanting to retest these highs. If Microsoft breaks here, 415 is the next level. Apple on its way to 200, guys. Apple's on its way to 200. Google, I think we're going to start retesting these highs here. Look, Google came down. It came and down, right? I mean, this isn't rocket science, guys, but we're now on about here's where the down was at. And we're going to start retesting. So I think we can probably make back half this top to this bottom, and we make that half on the flip. Amazon, I like this one, case for an all-time high, breaking out. Going to go ahead and go long on this one. We're looking at 165 target on Amazon. QQQ pushing to the upside. We like 425, and once we hit 425, we like 430. IWM 200. That's the target. 200 is the target. We came up pretty hard, sold off a little bit, held the level. We're looking for the jump. 200 is the target by the end of the week. SPY's popping 490. That's the target on the SPY 490. And just for shits and giggles, BTC. BTC struggling a little bit right here, right? Once we start popping above our moving average on this one, we'll go ahead and start looking for the repop to 40. Okay. So BTC, we're holding some levels. Okay. I like this one over 40 by the end of the week. All right, guys. Oh, one more. I lied. One more. Crowd. I told you guys 300. There it is, 300. I wouldn't be surprised if we cool down though, now that we hit that mark. So, but cybersecurity and this particular genre is hot right now. Okay, so it's definitely one of those stocks that is getting a lot of attention where it's at. So remember when crowd was cheaper than snow, right? By a lot. It's not now. So CrowdStrike's doing something right, man. So 300, I'm expecting to pull back to go retest this level here. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you got something out of this uh, Tweaky Tuesday, and we're gonna go ahead and come back to the desktop just real quick. If you guys are looking for trade alerts or you just want to become part of the team, go to our upgrade chat. The links are in the description. We got all sorts of platforms, penny stocks, text message, basic Discord, pro Discord, elite Discord, and we got instant message platform, guys. And you can always go to our website, traderswarroom.com, and check out all the stuff that we have. Every link that TWR has is in the description of our videos. Guys, have a great evening. See you at that market bell when it rings. Let's go out there and make some money, and I'm out.